What's up guys, welcome to a JavaScript series brought to you by Code to Create CTC. In case you just skipped the first episode and bumped into this one, I still remain Tony Cletus, your instructor. Alright, so in this episode 11, we are going to be treating a very important concept in JavaScript called global variables and local variables. Alright, and these concepts are very important because they are a little bit confusing. Alright, so now, in JavaScript, objects and functions are also called variables. You understand? Object functions are referred to as variables. What's this guy saying? What am I saying in essence? Like, how can a function be called a variable now? Because a function can be declared with the function keyword function, and a variable can be declared with the keyword variable. What is now functions are also referred to as variables. Alright, let me quickly show you now. This is JavaScript for you. So I'll quickly erase this. Now supposing we have a variable called game. Now we can set this variable called game to a function, and this variable will just output something on the screen. And maybe the game is something like catch me if you can. So say catch me if you can. And once we save this and we try to run it, nothing gets displayed. Why? Because we didn't call the function name, and in this case the function name now is now game. Understand? So you have to call it game, and that's why we say objects and functions are also referred to as variables. But in this case I'm not going to give you an example about object because we are still coming to object. That will come in the later episode. For now we're dealing with functions. So now functions can be referred to as variables. That is it. So you can declare a variable and attach a function to it, and when you want to call this function, you call the name of the variable. You understand? And that's why we call this. So that's what we mean by functions as referred to as variables. Simple as that. Now in JavaScript, scope is the set of variables, objects and functions you have access to. And what do you mean by that? Unlike other programming languages that have block scope whereby a variable can be accessed only inside a block of code, JavaScript only has function scope. And what do you mean by function scope? Now this is the beginning of this function with this opening curly braces, and this is the closing curly braces, right? So any variable declared inside the curly braces of this function belongs to this function. It lives and dies inside this function. That's what we mean by that. They just have function scope. Any variable declared inside the function scope lives and dies there. Simple as that. Now let's now try to understand what we have been calling local JavaScript variables. You understand? And what do we mean by local variables? Now any variable declared inside a function is referred to as a local variable. That means that variable becomes local to the function it's being declared inside. You understand? So let's take an example and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now supposing we have a function and the name is can, and inside this can we declare a variable. We declare a variable country, and this country is holding a country name called India, and we try to output this on the screen using document right. Let us say we have document right, can is from India. You understand? So when we try to call this function, we call the function name can. We save this and we go to our browser and refresh. What do we have? Can is from India. Alright, now this variable lives and dies inside this function, and that's why it is called a local variable. It becomes local to the function. Now supposing we have another function, let me quickly copy this and I'll paste it here, and this function name is something like prayer. Alright, I'm not even from India anyway, but I love their movies. And here I have prayer, and we'll try to clear this from here. So let's say we want to use the variable declared inside this function, and we want to say prayer is also from India. Using this variable, we want to target this country and we say prayer is also from India. Understand? We save this, we refresh again. What happens? Nothing. We discover that we don't have prayers from India. Why is it not displaying something like that? Okay, it is not displaying something like that because this is local to this function. So how do we make prayer to access this variable? That is now what will lead us to what we call global variables. Now a variable declared outside a function becomes global. When this variable is declared outside the function, it is called global. And what do I mean by that? So I'll quickly cut this and paste this outside the functions, both of the functions. And once we save this now and we refresh, you see can is from India, prayer is from India. By declaring this variable outside of this function, we have now made this variable country a global variable. This is now what we mean by global and local variables. You understand? And now there's this concept I want to introduce into this episode, and that's what we call automatic global variables. In the sense that if this variable is assigned a value without being declared. And what do we mean by that? I'll just clean this up and I have a function, and this function I'm going to name it something like, okay, let me just say my function, and maybe we just want to, like, I'll put the name of our car. So without declaring this variable, I'll just go to it by assigning a value to this car name. So maybe the name of my car is Venza. So once I say this as Venza and now document, write this. Now remember, we didn't declare the car name. Normally, if you want to declare this car name as a variable, all you need to do is to add the variable keyword var, but we didn't declare it. Automatically, we have made this variable a global variable because we didn't declare it. So if I say this and I run it, you see we have Venza. To prove that this is a global variable, we can also use this same variable inside the function scope, my function, in another function. So we can name this my func, and here the name of this new function is my func. You understand? So I can now claim this variable. Now I just want to output Venza on the screen from this function also. So we'll just document the right car name without declaring another separate variable for it. So once you save this and you refresh, you see we have Venza. You understand? So this is how it goes. Alright, so I believe you get this treasurable idea I'm trying to pass across to you right now. We have been able to explain local variables, global variables, and automatic global variables. So in our next tutorial, we'll be looking at calling functions from another function. And please, if you really learned something from this video, click on that like button below and make sure you subscribe. And if you have a problem, please comment below this video and I'll try to attend to your questions as soon as possible. Alright, have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for watching.